Whatever is it about science that makes most of our correspondents take to booze and fags? The astonishing thing is that they all seem to have a special DNA resistant to all forms of abuse, physical and mental. As you know, Andy, it's probably worth a piece in Nature. In fact, you've probably written it already. Lawrence McGinty set the example and you followed. And how?
When that Richard Tate, God rest his soul, when he asked me to find a successor, well, it was obvious, wasn't it? I had to go and find Fleet Street's finest. So I had a few beers with a few blokes, know what I mean, John? And there was no competition. It had to be Andy Veitch. I mean, there was Renaissance man. Real Channel 4 word, that.
You may remember the early days, Andy, exactly 15 years ago, when your chief anxiety was what to wear. You'd turned up in an old jumper from The Guardian and were told to buy a suit. You splashed out 28 quid from M&S. It was stripy and shiny, and after viewers complained about strobing, it was discarded after 3 months.
The investigation following the Challenger disaster found so many weak points in the shuttle design, the NASA made 400 changes. Tomorrow's report for the GMC's Professional Standards Committee makes it clear that it is both unethical and illegal to test a patient for HIV without asking for permission and getting it.
When you came here, you didn't give much away. You told us, of Russian-Scottish ancestry. You said you had whiskey and vodka in your veins. You didn't need to tell us that. We could see it for ourselves. There was certainly something very strange going on.
It's been discovered that almost all the genes known to cause disease in humans cause the same disease in mice. In fact, genetically, 99% of me is just like a mouse. But then, genetically, 30% of me is just like a banana.
You claimed to be a socialist. Well, we knew better. And we know you got your blazer from a distant cousin, Prince Michael of Kent. You hated having to wear a tie. You hated having to think about your image. You hid behind masks. But the fact was you were part royal, part pirate, part old sea dog.
I give the gun wire for a plate of fish fingers now.
You had a way of imparting fascinating scientific facts.
The amount of methane excreted by a bulldog in one day is approximately the equivalent of the hot air that comes out of graphics in a week. It's a lot.
If there was an acronym involved, it ended up on your desk. CJD, BSE, DNA, HRT.
You need to be connected to one of the new digital exchanges, and you need a box to link your phone to the Integrated Services Digital Network. With ISDN, data can be transferred at much faster speeds, enough to make a TV picture.
You were particularly expert about talking about sex. You always had a banana by your desk. Anything large and phallic, and you could relate to it.
While the Russians and the European Space Agency pressed ahead with unmanned rockets, the Americans couldn't launch a satellite. They couldn't even launch a baseball.
Now, the sweat bee, as its name implies, loves sweat. It needs the salt, and it gets it from mammals. So imagine, if you will, a couple of mammals, say a wild pig and a hunter, a man, running through the jungle on a hot, steamy day. And then imagine which bits of the pig and the man, which nooks and crannies, will be hottest, wettest and smelliest. That's how this flower smells to a sweat bee. A man's face is in part shaped by testosterone. High levels of the male hormone enlarge the chin, the nose perhaps to increase air intake for running or fighting, and the brows possibly to protect the eyes. If we've evolved to pick the strongest, fittest mates, a strong, testosterone-rich face should be highly attractive to women.
You loved going to Russia, to Siberia in particular, and let's be frank, you were a babushka magnet.
I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.
Even in radioactive areas, all you could talk about was getting your rocks off.
We're taking a load of rocks down to Lake Karachay now. We've just loaded up at the dump. We're in a lead-lined truck. The glass is lead. There's lead all over the roof, down the sides, 5 tons of it and all. Yet with all this shielding, we're told we've got to be down there, we've got to get the rocks off and back in about 12 minutes.
We should warn sensitive viewers to avert their gaze now. These exclusive pictures were taken in Murmansk in the Russian Arctic. However cold it was, you were always ready to get your kit off. Is that Alistair Campbell out there on the right?
You sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing. Oh, kiss me, you sexy thing. Touch me, baby, you sexy thing. I love the way you touch me, darling. You sexy thing.
Oh, Cinderella, won't you come to the ball? No, I've got too much work to do. I can't possibly escape from this kitchen. Ah, my Prince Charming, bring me a slipper. Let me escape from this hell.
You went everywhere, to the coldest and hottest parts of the world in the name of science. And you had a preferred airline, Aeroflot. Fly Aeroflot, fly Olga. Satisfaction guaranteed. No wonder you became famous, mobbed by school kids everywhere.
A very, very small hack.
So what are you going to do next, Andy? We know there's been an ongoing battle over your body. Smirnoff, Guinness, BAT, they're all very interested, we understand. But a little bird tells me you are investigating other avenues, the movies. Just remember, though, look what happened to Chris Jones when he left Channel 4 News. OK, so there is going to be a movie version of Thunderbirds. Now, that does fit. To captain a phallic spaceship.
The boys of International Rescue know that on a hazardous mission, words are never enough. You need to see who's pulling the strings.
We know, of course, all you really want to be is a plaything for Lady Penelope.
Yes, I've got him. We'll be straight home.
For Andy, eat, drink, smoke, and be merry. You'll be pissed. I'm so sorry, you'll be missed.
I don't know what I got you into, Andy, but it couldn't have been that bad, mate. Cheers.
Was it the wine? It was the booze, it was the drugs, it was the women. We're all going to miss you, you news bitch.
Sexy thing,